See, we are in the basic settings. Yeah, I will tell you, Anil. See, yesterday only we have started the configuration settings, right? So we have completed creation of company and define company code, then assign company code to company. So we have completed only these three steps in yesterday's class. Now today we start with the define business area. Then Chandrasekhar has posted some questions to me, right? I will explain these questions in the class today at the end of the session, okay? So that everybody also can understand his questions. So let us see the step number 1.4, define business area. So first I will explain what is the concept of business area in SAP. See, business area. It is an organizational unit in financial accounting that divides the organization based on the area of activity or line of activity. It is an organizational unit in financial accounting that divides the organization based on the area of activity or line of activity. Area of activity means geographical area of activity. So what is the division of enterprise based on geographical area of activity? For example, we are carrying on business in Washington, New York, California. So this is called geographical division of enterprise. So we are carrying on business in Washington, New York, California means what? We are having the branches there. So generally the branches of the organization are created as business areas. Generally, the branches of the organization are created as business areas, and it is also the division of enterprise on the basis of line of activity. Line of activity means what? Under the same name of the company code, right? Under the same name of the company code. For those who joined today only, company code means every separate legal entity is called company code in SAP. Tata Steels Limited is one company code. Tata Power Limited is one company code. Tata Chemicals Limited is one company code. Like that, every individual company is called one company code. This is just for your understanding for today's class. So, under the same name of the company code, we are carrying on business in these three activities. Number one, textiles manufacturing. Number two, paper manufacturing. Number three, chemicals manufacturing. This is called line of activity. So, whether a branch of the organization can be created as business area or line of activity can be created as business areas. So whatever may be the criteria you use to create the business areas, what is the purpose of the business areas? For each business area, we can create the P&L account and balance sheet. So this P&L account and balance sheet can be used by the management for the internal analysis purpose. Means what? See, for example, you have defined your business areas on the basis of geographical area of activity. Means for each branch or for each business area, you can create the P&L account and balance sheet. So with the help of the P&L account, we can find the profit for Washington branch, for the New York branch, for California branch. Then what is the use of this business area P&L account? These can be used by the management for the internal analysis purpose. Means, for example, Washington, your total profits are 100 crores. Your total profits are 100 crores. Then, based on the business area financial statements, you can come to know that Washington business area has made a profit of 70 crores. Then New York business area has made a profit of 30 crores. Then California business area has made a profit of 20 crores. But you have one more business area, New York. But the New York business area has made a loss of 20 crores. So this information is visible with the help of the business area financial statements. So actually you are performing very much well, but the New York business area is making a loss of 20 crores. So the performance or the profits of the other business areas or the profits of the other branches are eaten away by New York business area. That's why your profits have become only 100 crores. Suppose if the New York business area is also making profits, right? In that case, your profits would have been increased by more than 20%. So these business area financial statements can be used by the management for internal analysis purpose. Now during the analysis, the management come to know that, okay, the New York business area is making a loss of 20 crores. Sorry. In this case, the management has to take the corrective action to make the branch of New York running into profits. Suppose if the management thinks that it's not at all possible to make the New York branch running into profits, then it can take a decision to close this New York branch. So by just closing this New York branch, your profits are increased by 20% next year with the same performance levels. So this is how the management can take a decision. To take this decision, they need business area financial statements. So with the help of the business area financial statements, they can identify the branch which are earning more profits, or if any branches are making losses, they can also identify them, and accordingly they can take the action. This is called internal analysis. One more example. See, with the help of when you create textiles manufacturing, paper manufacturing, or chemicals manufacturing as the business areas, then we can find the profit for each line of activity. So this year the management wants to introduce some additional capital. So this additional capital can be introduced in which activity? The activity which is earning more profits to the company. So for this purpose, for this decision making purpose, they want to know what are the profits for each line of activity. In that case, we can use the business area financial statements. So that is the use of the business area financial statements. So here, the definition of business areas is purely optional. As I said yesterday, if any reporting is legally required, that is mandatory. But if any reporting is required according to will and wish of the management, then that is called optional. So in any country, it is not legal requirement to report at the branch level. It's not legally required. But if the management wants to see the performance for each of the branches, then only we have to define the business areas. And we can define any number of business areas. There is no any limit. But my question here is, I told you that the business areas can be defined on the basis of geographical area of activity or line of activity. So in that case, which criteria we have to use? I will tell you different scenarios. Okay. Suppose, for example, we are carrying on business only in textiles manufacturing. We are carrying on business only in textiles manufacturing, and this activity we are carrying on in Washington, New York, and California. In that case, each geographical area will be created as business areas. That is one scenario. One more scenario is, we are carrying on business only in Washington, but in Washington, we are carrying on business in textiles manufacturing, paper manufacturing, and chemicals manufacturing. This scenario generally will not exist in the real time because every company wants to expand like anything, right? So no company will restrict itself to a particular geographical area. But theoretically, let us discuss. So if this is the case, each line of activity will be created as business area. Okay. Then the actual scenario is like this. We are carrying on business in Washington, New York, California. So in these three geographical areas, we are carrying on business in these three area of activities, in these three line of activities. In each branch, in each geographical area, we are carrying on business in these three activities. In that case, actually this is the real scenario. So in this case, the management wants to know the profit for each of the geographical area and also for each of the line of the activity. So how to meet this requirement? Please remember, generally we create the business areas generally we create the business areas first on the basis of geographical area only. So when you create each geographical area, you can find the profit. Then each line of activity is created as profit centers. So when you create the profit center, you can identify expenses and revenues and balance sheet items for each profit center. Then we can prepare the P&L account and balance sheet. So for each profit center again, you can find the profit. That's how we can meet the requirement of finding out the profit for each geographical area and finding out the profit for each line of activity. But what is profit center? We will discuss later on. Now, here I told you that we can prepare the P&L account and balance sheet for each business area. For that purpose, the system needs to identify expenses, revenues and balance sheet items. So how these expenses, revenues and balance sheet items are identified in the business areas? At the time of posting every business transaction, it is mandatory that the user has to enter the business area. Suppose, for example, today we are posting rent payment. At the time of posting that rent payment, if the user means employee or accountant, if the user enters the business area Washington, then that is identified with the Washington business area. And if the user enters the business area New York, that is identified with the New York. If the user enters the business area California, that is identified with the California business area. That's how the system will be able to identify the expenses, revenues and other balance sheet items for the business areas. So this is the concept of business area. Right? Now let us see how to define the business areas. One second. Yes. See the material. Define business area. So first let us log into the system. And see the path. Path is starting with SPRO. So it is also the job of the consultant. So SPRO. And SPRO implies clicking on SAP reference IMG also. SPRO, enterprise structure, then definition. Then after definition, you have financial accounting. So click on this financial accounting. After financial accounting, we have define business area. This is called define business area. Click on new entries. So for each business area, we have to give one identification. Business area is equal to 3366. Here, everywhere I will use the company code identification only, because throughout FICO classes, we are going to define number of objects. So for every object, we have to give one name. So if you use your company code name, it is easy for us to remember the identification of every object. If you use different names, it is difficult for you to remember the object names while doing the practice. That's why everywhere and wherever it is possible, I will use the company code identification only. Now write down in the material, business area is equal to 3366. Description is equal to Washington branch or Washington business area. So in our class, in our material, we have defined only one business area. Suppose if you want to define number of business areas, just look at the screen. 336A, New York, then 336B. Just like that I am using 336A, 336B, then California. So like that, you can go on defining any number of business areas, right? Click on save and enter. That's how we can define any number of business areas. Okay, so this is the concept of business areas. Now, here for today, I am closing the session with this business area only because I have to provide the server access to some of you, right? So, if I complete number of steps, they may feel difficult in starting the practice. So, by today evening or tomorrow evening, I will provide the server access to them. So, they will start the practice and they can be on par with the other students in the class. So, this is generally what I do. In the fourth class, I take only half an hour. That is, in fourth class, I take only business area concept. Now, the next topic is fiscal year variant. This fiscal year variant will take 1 hour class to explain you. That's why I am closing the session. That is also the reason for closing the session with the business area. But before closing the session, Chandrasekhar has posted some questions. So first let us take the fourth question, right? What is company postal code in address box, right? Here let us go to our company code. I will explain you what is asking. So yesterday we have created company code, right? So this is the address screen. In the address screen, he is asking PO box number. He understands PO box number. What is postal code and company postal code? He is asking the difference between these two, right? Am I right, Chandrasekhar? Chandrasekhar, are you there? I think you are asking the difference between, postal code and company postal code. Now, here, for example, if you enter the post box number 100, right, then postal code means it is the postal code of your post box area. Suppose your post box 100 is situated in some other area. So you have to enter the postal code of that area. And company postal code means it is the postal code of your registered office of the company code. Because in the area where your registered office is situated, there is no post office. So the post office was situated in a different city or in different area. So in that post office, you are having the post box number. Got it? So generally, postal code of the post box and company postal code will be same generally. Okay? This is clear, Chandrasekhar? Okay. Now, one more question he posted is, you told that if you cross the boundaries of the country, we will create a new company code. But as you told that Tata company or Reliance are in the same country. Let us take an example. Tata Consultancy, Tata Steel, Tata Docomo, etc. etc. Here, for each separate legal entity, we have to create a company code. And also, if the boundaries of any particular country are crossed, then we have to create company code. For example, you have to take these two criteria into consideration. You take Tata Group. So Tata Group is having Tata Consultancy Services Limited. It's a separate legal entity. So we create one company code. Tata Steels Limited, one company code. Tata Power Limited, one company code. Tata Docomo, one company code. Now, this Tata Steels Limited is operating one branch in US, right? So means it is the Tata Steels Limited is carrying on business in USA. So the boundaries are crossed. So if you want to carry the business outside India in any particular country, first you have to register yourself under the Companies Act of that country. Then it becomes a separate legal entity. So you have to create company code. That is the meaning behind that. Every separate legal entity is to be created as company code, and also if you cross the boundaries of any particular country, then also you have to create one company code. Now it should be clear. Suppose, for example, you have the TCS India. You have the example TCS India, right? It is one company code. Then TCS America, one company code. Got it, Chandrasekhar?
Sir, but here Tata Consultancy, Tata Steel, and Tata Docomo are in the same country, no, in India only.
Yes.
So these are branches at present or a different company codes in India?
Different company codes in India.
How to?
Because let me tell you, because Tata Steel has to report to the Companies Act for the Tata Steels Limited as a whole. Tata Docomo has to prepare a separate financial statement. Tata Consultancy has to prepare a separate financial statement. So
here I have, sir.
So
as they are not
company, 1 second, let me complete. Every limited company or private limited company is created as company code. That's the rule, you can take it granted.
Okay, sir.
Got it?
Okay. Little wherein, sir?
Sorry?
A little doubts are still not clear.
Tell me, what is your doubt?
No, now Tata Consultancy, Tata Steel, and Tata Docomo are in the same country. They have not crossed any boundaries.
Yes.
But as you told, every individual company has to file as per Companies Act of 1956.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now these three are independent companies only, no?
Yes.
In India?
Yes, yes.
They have not crossed the borders.
Okay.
But line of activity is different.
Yeah.
When you, as per the business area.
Yes.
So they can be considered as business area or individual company code. That is
individual company code.
Now
individual company code. Right? Because Tata Consultancy is a separate legal entity. Means Tata Consultancy will have its own articles of association, own memorandum of association, right? Similarly,
yes,
Tata Steel will have its own memorandum of association and articles of association, right?
Yes.
So they are separate company codes. Now, Tata Consultancy is having the branches in Hyderabad, Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi. So these will be your business areas for Tata Consultancy. Tata Steel also doing business in Chennai, Mumbai, Hyderabad. These will be the business areas for Tata Steel. Got it? Till
yes,
now, let me extend. Tata Consultancy is basically registered under Indian Companies Act, right? It's a separate company code. Now, this Tata Consultancy wants to carry on business in USA. For that, it has to take the permission from the USA government, for which purpose they have to file lot of documents. Means they will be registered under the US Companies Act. Then it becomes a separate legal entity, Tata Consultancy America. Clear?
Yes, out of boundaries I could understand.
The country
we are crossing government to government. We need to
see what is the basic country, India, right?
Yes, in India only I am asking.
No, you see, when you are carrying business within India, right, there is no question of crossing the boundaries.
Yes, it is not crossing border.
Yeah. But separate legal entities are there, no. See, Tata Consultancy, Tata Steel, Tata Docomo, even though they are within the India, but they are separate legal entities. Tata Consultancy will have its separate board of directors. Tata Steel will have its own board of directors. Tata Docomo will have their own board of directors. So separate legal entities. So we have to create 3 company codes in this case, even though they are in the same country.
Okay, sir.
right?
Thank you, sir.
Coming to postal code for New York, it starts from 10,001, Washington from 20,001. So while trying to enter the postal code 5 digits, the system is asking to enter the 6 digits. There is one concept, country specific settings, right? So I will show you these country specific settings later on. So in the country specific settings, somebody have changed in the country specific settings, we can specify that how many number of digits should be there in the pin code, how many number of digits should be there in the telephone numbers, how many number of digits should be there in the bank account numbers. So all these things we can define in the country specific settings. So these country specific settings we will deal later on. Yesterday I told you, we can define our own countries and currencies. At that time we will see how to define the country specific settings. But in this particular server, somebody has changed the pin code length to 6 digits. That's why it is asking to enter you 6 digits. Nothing else. Please enter that 6 digits for the time being. Okay. Then later on we can change it. Got it, Chandrasekhar? Yeah. Now, Akila, you have any questions today? Today or from the previous classes? Okay. Anil? Chandrasekhar, any more questions? Okay, Anil. Okay, Chandrasekhar.
No, sir. Thank you.
Gadilingam. Okay. Jerisha. Jerisha, I will send you the recordings of the first 3 classes. Actually, this is the 4th class. Okay, I will send you the recordings of the previous 3 classes. And this weekend, you listen to these 3 recordings and you can be on par with the class by next class. Our next class is on Monday, USA day. And Indian day is Tuesday. So in India, the classes are from Tuesday to Saturday. In US, it is Monday to Friday. Manoj, you have any questions?
Lakshman, actually, how the business area and the business, the company code are tied, actually?
Yeah, good question. Here,
Aren't the same?
yeah. See, here, business areas cannot be assigned to any company code. Business areas cannot be assigned to any company code because suppose you have the 2 company codes. Let us say Tata Consultancy Services and Tata Steels Limited. So Tata Consultancy Services and Tata Steels Limited, both the company codes are carrying on business in Hyderabad. In that case, if you assign the Hyderabad business area to one company code, another company code transactions cannot be posted. That's why business areas can never be assigned to any company code. Even if you want to assign, there is no screen available. But in that case, how the system will identify expenses and revenues? At the time of posting every business transaction, the user has to enter company code and business area. Both the information he has to enter. Suppose you have the TCS, Tata Consultancy Services and Tata Steels Limited. Both the company codes are carrying on business in Hyderabad. Today we have paid rent. Then we enter the transaction to system. At the time of entering this transaction in the system, the user enters Tata Consultancy Services Limited in Hyderabad. Then that will be taken to the Hyderabad branch of Hyderabad business area of Tata Consultancy Services. If the user enters the company code Tata Steels Limited and business area Hyderabad, then that will be posted to Hyderabad branch of Tata Steels Limited. Clear, Manoj? Yeah. Roni, you have any questions? Okay. Sunil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Sunil. Any questions?
These Tata Consultant. I'm Tata Consultancy, Tata Steel, and Tata Docomo. They are treated as business separate cost centers.
Cost centers is a separate activity, right? Cost centers is a separate organizational unit in cost center accounting of controlling, right? They cannot be treated as separate cost centers. But how to design the
Okay.
cost centers in this case, we will discuss in
If I take,
controlling.
if I
Yeah,
currently, if I take my company also, in our company, each department is treated as a separate cost center. So
exactly.
I'm little bit confused with this branches and cost center.
Okay. For example, you take Tata Consultancy Services, right? So in the Tata
Yeah.
Consultancy Services is a company code. So it is carrying on
Okay.
business in Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai. So these are business areas,
Oh,
right? Now,
okay.
in Hyderabad business area, you have the administration department, you have the
Yeah.
packing department, right? So,
Yeah.
administration department of Hyderabad business area is one cost center. Packing department of Hyderabad business area one cost center. And for others, forget about cost centers. Don't worry, we have the separate topic on cost center accounting on these cost centers. Just for the understanding of Sunil, I'm explaining. Then in Mumbai business area, you have the sales department and administration department. So administration department is created as one cost center and the sales department is created as another cost center. That is the difference.
Okay. 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 We need to give separate codes for each branches
Cost center.
together.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Thanks.